Welcome. We are visiting revision phase features of our preparations. Revision phase, in a way, is having pre preparations features before us. We are preparing. We are through this preparation exercise in which we feel that we are reaching at the completion of our preparations. The completion of the preparation steps, in a way, is a phase and a stage when we sit comfortably, we sit and close our eyes, and our brain, our consciousness reflects and interacts with itself and evaluates what has been completed, what remains to be completed. It is in this situation that we have to pose to ourselves, let us learn what remains to be learned. But naturally, the question will be how one should know what remains to be learned. One may have some fair idea about what stands learned, but it may go out of sight as to what really remains to be learned. One touchstone is, let us revisit the syllabi, let us revisit the previous year's question papers, and in the context, while being through the syllabi and the previous year's questions, we may have some idea, we may have some insight as to what really remains to be learned. This, in the ancient wisdom touchstone, let us visit Isha. Its ninth mantra is Andham Tama Pravishanti Ye Avidya Upasate Tattvabhyu Ivte Tamo Yau Vidyayam Rata. A simple rendering is, जो अविद्या अंधकार में रहते हैं वह तो अंधकार में है ही, लेकिन जो प्रकाश की कोठरी तक सीमित हैं उनकी कोठरी तो चारों तरफ से गहरे अंधकार में है. See, the simple English rendering of the text comes to be, and it is for our thinking. Let us pose to ourselves and think. Those who live in darkness, they are already in the darkness. But those who are confined to light of their own room, they are blind to darkness all around. Let me read again. Those who live in darkness, they are already in darkness, but those who are confined to light of their own room, they are blind to darkness all around. Put it, your light of your room as what stands entered in your dictionary, what stands expressed in your referencer. So your dictionary and your referencer are your rooms. The light in your rooms is as are the entries and expressions of your dictionary and referencer. So if you will remain confined to what is your dictionary and what stands expressed in your referencer, then, as is the enlightenment of the Upanishad, you are blind to darkness all around it as the other aspects, the other values, the other meanings, the other expressions, the other expectations of the cell are to remain outside this room, and hence that makes the darkness around your room. Those who live in darkness means those who are not making evaluation of the dictionary, those who are not appreciating the limitations of one's expressions, means whose dictionaries and references are having dark pages. They are certainly in the darkness. They have to make the pages of their dictionaries and references be fully white, fully bright. Let there not be dark pages in your dictionary. Let there not be dark pages in your referencer. If there are dark pages in the dictionary and if there are dark pages in the referencer, then in the context, in the reference of the enlightenment of the Upanishad, you are living in darkness. As you are living in darkness, so you are already in the darkness. However, if you are confined to the light of your own dictionary, if you are confined to the light of your own referencer, then it will amount that you are blind to the darkness all around. Means all that which should have been part of your dictionary and referencer and which has not become a part of your dictionary and referencer, so that what remains outside the light of your room, that itself is a deeper darkness for you, because you live in the light of your room and you are unaware of how thick darkness is around. Therefore, we should pose to ourselves that at this stage of revision, we have to be conscious that we have to learn what remains to be learned. Means we have to remove the dark pages of our dictionary. We have to remove dark pages of our referencer. We have to bring more brightness to the white papers of our dictionary referencer. Let me read the original text of the Upanishad. Andham tama praveshyanti ye avidya upasate tattobhyo ivte tamo yau vidyam rata. Those who are confined to the light of their own room, they are blind to the thickness of the darkness around the room. One way is to enlarge the room. One way is to bright the light of the room, but never remain unconscious of the thick darkness around the room. We have to consider the degree of depth, of ignorance, avidya. We are to be blissful about the vidya. However, to know what you do not know is also to remain and to become the part of your vidya. Vidya is to know. Vidya is a knowledge. Vidya is enlightenment. Ved takes us to root with, which means knowledge and which also means to know. So, to know is a process, to know is a tapasya, to know is a stream, a chain of efforts, continue efforts, continue giving more and more bright to the light of your dictionary and referencer. अंधम तमा प्रविश्यन्ति ये आविद्या उपासते तत्त्वभ्यो इवते त्यो याहू विद्याम रता. This phase and stage of revision is putting enough stress upon us as that we have to be fully conscious as to what are the limitations of our white pages of our dictionary and referencer, and how many pages of our dictionary and referencer are dark. Those as well have to be made bright. Let us revisit Selby. Let us revisit questions of the previous 10 years. The visit to the previous year questions and visit to the Selby, and as a step in furtherance thereof, visit to 20 statutes which make the Selby, will put us on the right path of learning what remains to be learned. Now, for it, we have to program ourselves. We have to organize our timetable, our daily routine, dincharya, is to be to the satisfaction of the order of expectations of the preparations. Therefore, begin the day the way sun at its rising stage continues unfolding in flow of brightness, fluorescence for us, and at sunset it folds back itself, but never takes back brightness which has already put in our universe. So, what we have learned the whole day is to be taken a possession of which we shall be proud. We have to imbibe, fully imbibe the values what we have learned during the day, and in the morning we have to begin again afresh of having fresh unfolding for fresh imbibing more and more values. We have to learn what remains to be learned. We have to imbibe what remains to be imbibed. We have to bring more brightness to the pages of our dictionary. We have to add more fluorescence to our expressions of our referencer. The dark pages are to be made white. Thank you very much.